Hi, blessings, Anna and Avaya and Candace. Good to be with you. Thanks for coming to sit with me this morning, or whatever time I did Avaya. I don't think it's morning for you, but it may be. All right, welcome. Welcome. We're going to be talking today about Metta as medicine. And before I dive into the content, we'll just take a moment to connect to, where we are. Letting awareness come in, just letting it settle from out there in here. Feeling the front of the body and softening. Letting the shoulders be soft. Letting the heart stay lifted. Eyes are kind. And we connect to ourselves. Not through the thinking mind, but through embodiment. And then just connecting to your state of being. Tuning into your heart and noticing whatever emotions you notice or sensations that you notice. And letting whatever is being noticed fold into here and now. Let any gap between where you are and where you think you should be close. And then give yourself the blessing of your undivided attention. Maybe there's an intention that you're in touch with, something that you're wanting to feel or receive. And may our time together today serve to guide you towards the deepest connection to your radiance, to your enoughness, to your true self. And may this be with ease and with grace for your benefit and the benefit of all those whose lives you touch. We can bring our palms together. If you like to seal that in, you can with a bow. And then as we come up, we'll open our eyes and stay in the body as we take in the space that we're in. And orient. And then we'll orient to each other. All right. So just go ahead and mention in the chat what comes through as your, if you have an intention. And anything else that, about what your state of being is. What are you noticing? Gratitude and presence, feeling a bit content. Thank you, Anna. Okay, so I'm just going to pull some things up here. So I was listening to, actually, I really recommend it on YouTube. I think the channel is called like Style for You or Style Like You or something like that. But they have this wonderful video series. I posted a few of them on my Facebook page. Just they're incredible from these really just incredible women speaking on a variety of different things. And one of the videos that I loved was just called something about like how to be sweet to your damn self. I thought that could be another title of this this talk is how to be sweet to your damn self. Yeah. So we're really going to be exploring is the practice of metta or loving kindness, and today. So I wanted to share this quote with you from Sharon Salzberg in her book, Loving Kindness, The Revolutionary Art of Happiness, which I highly recommend as a really deep exploration into not just metta, but all of the four Brahma Viharas. So listen to this. Researchers once gave a plant to every resident of a nursing home. Half of these elderly people were told the plants were theirs to care for, that they had to pay close attention to their plants' needs for water and sunlight, and should respond carefully to those needs. The other half of the residents were told that the plants were theirs to enjoy, that they did not have to take any responsibility for them. The nursing staff would take care of the plants. At the end of the year, the researchers compared the two groups of elders. So it's kind of fun, like, take a moment to sense, like, who do you think did better? At the end of the year, the researchers compared the two groups, and the residents who had been asked to care for their plants were living considerably longer than the norm, were much healthier, and were more oriented towards and connected to their world. The other residents, those who had plants but did not have to stay responsive to them, simply reflected the norms for people their age in longevity, health, alertness, and engagement with the world. I mean, this is like it's astounding, actually, the difference between the two groups. The residents who had been asked to care for their plants were living considerably longer than the norm, much healthier, and more oriented towards and connected to their world. I don't know how they assessed that, but that was another part of the assessment. It'd be interesting to read the study. But the other residents just kind of like trekked along on default mode, right? They had norms for people their age and longevity, health, alertness, and engagement with the world. I asked my son, I read the story to him, and I asked him, what do you think, before I told him the results, which group do you think would do better? And he said, oh, the second one. The one where they weren't asked to care for the plant, that it was just, there for them to enjoy. And so what we can, and then to tie this into something too, my mother-in-law is 93, and I took her to an appointment yesterday because her health she's 93, right? So there's definitely, right, there's certain things that are just to be expected with someone her age. But yeah, COVID, and I think, lots of different factors inside of the last year and a half or 2 years. Her, she can't, there's things she just can't do anymore, and the decline feels and looks and is quite rapid. So she's going to need a lot more help, and her children are seeing that, of course, and like kind of talking about what to do. And I was talking to her yesterday about, and she's super sharp as a tack and clear. She just has, her mobility is just, she needs help walking and stuff. Um, and, uh, I told my husband, it's so important that you guys, when you're talking about this, that you don't rob her of any capacities that she still has to tend to her life. Like, don't start doing things for her that she, it's like, it's so important that through all of this that she be regarded as a human with until it's just, until that's just, unless that's not happening anymore, but she's, you know, um, cognitively very with it, and has her own ideas and things about how she wants to live. And I just, like, that all needs to really be regarded and considered and put ahead of your own judgments, anyway. So in other words, flourishing in life has more to do with connection. It has more to do with love and intimacy than having things be easy or pleasant, right? It's actually just having things be easy and pleasant isn't just, it actually can have really negative effects. Um, I think just simply about being self-preoccupied or self-concerned. It's easier to be that, which is a recipe for neurosis, like being all up in your own business all the time and having nothing really more to think about but yourself does not bode well for mental health. And I think the study really points to that, and it's something that we need to remember as well. Typically, and so part of this is tending, the sense of kindness, of friendliness, of caring, is what is cultivated in metta, or loving kindness practice. And it's not our usual way. Our usual way is like when I'm the best version of, and this is implicit, this is unconscious, like, right? It's under the hood so deep we don't even know what's going on. But there's this when I'm the best version of myself, then I'll be friendly. And it's not just me, it's not just the self. I'll be friendly to myself when I'm the best version of myself. It's for everyone. We hold that bar for everyone and everything. And sometimes we can be stingy with our kindness, or stingy with our compassion or whatever, because it hasn't been earned. So one of the main the things that we need to be on the lookout for is this stinginess, this way that we feel that it pops up in all different kinds of ways, that we can't be kind, we can't be sweet, unless we've earned it, or unless they've earned it. And what we're talking about here is beyond that. It's like we're actually saying that sweetness is essential to refuge. It's essential because when we feel safe and secure, we can relax. We can relax. And then life is workable and rich. It's, if my nervous system isn't tensed up against, what's going to go right or what's going to go wrong, and I'm not preoccupied with that whole business, which is what happens when the nervous system is dysregulated. Metta, sweetness, kindness, gentleness, the practice of this. I can't emphasize enough that this is a practice, because the easy way, we all know too well, is the stinginess. And the stinginess will never relax the nervous system. We have to hold nervous system regulation as being critical to thriving and flourishing in life, which is part of that is being able to soften and relax and to trust that refuge, to trust it. Because usually, it's like it doesn't take long for our whatever, guard to be down, for us to start to feel like we're dropping the ball or something's going to get like, oh, we're so used to being revved up that it can feel really weird to soften, hence practice. And the sweetness is essential for this. We can't soften, we can't relax without sweetness. If we're waiting for the sweetness, if we're waiting to earn it, and oftentimes we are, and we're waking up out of that trance and then practicing. But if we are always waiting to earn it, then what will happen, and what tends to happen is a continual hardening and a rigidity, right? We get set in our ways. And we were not designed that way. We were not designed to be set in our ways. We actually, there's so much more possibility available to us when we nourish a sweetness towards ourselves and towards others. Because kindness, metta, loving kindness doesn't just apply to us. And I'll get to that as the first practice point. Another thing that I wanted to mention here is that we can have confidence. So I say this all the time, I know, but it's like we forget, right? So just let yourself remember confidence, and you can have confidence that we too, you too, can receive the blessings of kindness. And it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter how much water has gone under the bridge. This is grace, right? If you want to remember, or you weren't here for the Dharma talk and on grace, right? It's on YouTube. Check it out. But this is what Sharon Salzberg has to say about that, and I think it illustrates this point that it's never too late. We can have confidence. It is never too late to turn on the light. Your ability to break an unhealthy habit or turn off an old tape doesn't depend on how long it has been running. A shift in perspective doesn't depend on how long you've held on to an old view. When you flip the switch in the attic, it doesn't matter whether it's been dark for 10 minutes, 10 years, or 10 decades. The light still illuminates the room and banishes the murkiness, letting you see the things you couldn't see before. It's never too late to take a moment to look. It's never too late to take a moment to look. It's never too late. You can be 93. We were walking from the dentist. It was so funny. I wish I had a picture. It was like, so she's got Joan. She has a black eye that's healing because she'd fallen, and then she lost the cap on her front tooth. It just fell out, and so she had like no tooth and a black eye. It was like she looked like she got into she totally looked like she got into a fight. She was laughing, and we were both laughing, and we're walking out of the dentist, to get the thing fixed. And she says to me, walk a little ahead of me. And so I walk a little ahead of her. And then she, because I'm walking her, so she's directing me, right? Because I don't know what I'm doing. And then she says, I feel bad for being bossy. I feel like I'm being bossy. I have to be bossy. And I said, no, it's actually really helpful. Like, you can be direct. It's really okay. It's actually helpful for all of us when you're direct. It's not bossy. Right? And she, here is night, right? She's just owning that part of her now, right? At 93, she's owned it at different times before, I'm sure, but this is just a different, level of that maybe for her. But it's never too late. It's never too late to be sweet to yourself, right? And that's an act of sweetness, to be direct and ask for what you need, which is what she was doing and what she's been doing. And so, let me see. I wanted to speak a little bit of the benefits of sweetness, which we can think about the benefits of loving kindness. Now, Metta differentiates from the four Brahma Viharas, and that Metta, loving kindness, is about kindness. It's about sweetness. You can think about loving, like I love kindness. It is woven into the other three Brahma Viharas: compassion, equanimity, and sympathetic joy. All the other three of those need sweetness. So this is often the first Brahma Vihara that's taught, but it's also distinct from the others. It is specifically the cultivation of sweetness, of kindness, of well-wishing, and the wishing of ourselves well, and the wishing of others well. And the benefits of practicing this, which we'll practice in our meditation today, is it increases positive emotions and mitigates the negative. These were various studies taken from that were mentioned in Psychology Today. There's increase in vagal tone, a decrease in migraines, PTSD, and chronic pain. And Psychology Today had referenced various studies for this data. And it also it can slow biological aging. There's a lot of others too, so you can look that up. The Buddha said it brings about benefits too, and I love this because it's so magical, I feel like. He said that those who practice loving kindness will sleep easily, wake easily, have pleasant dreams. People will love you. Devas and animals will love you. External dangers will not harm you. Your face will be radiant. Your mind will be serene. You will die unconfused, and you will be born into happy realms. So the three points I wanted to flesh out around the practice itself. We're going to be working with the phrases, with the particular, very simple phrases in the classical way that this is practiced. And as we do this, I encourage you, this is point one, to practice the phrases with curiosity rather than expectation. So when you say, may I be well, or may I be peaceful, for example, there can be a tendency to judge the fact that you're not feeling very peaceful, or that the practice isn't working because you're saying this phrase and you might be feeling the opposite of peaceful. There's this, like, as if we're supposed to say the phrase and it's supposed to have this particular effect, and if that's not happening, we're not doing it right. We have to unhook from that. Curiosity, not expectation. Sometimes the practice does pull up its opposite, and the practice then becomes about letting that be met with kindness too. Whatever's arising as we're saying the phrases, if it's unpleasant, that too is met with kindness. That too is met with the phrasing. It's not an indication that we're doing it wrong. Okay, so that's really important to remember. The second point that I wanted to mention are the stages that are, we're taught and traditionally practiced. So, the Buddha a long time ago, and has outlined practices. This is one of them that in the Metta Sutta that was outlined. But then we also know, in more like research on loving kindness and self-compassion and things, that just saying these phrases in this way with this order does have some. It has a medicinal quality, and I did mention this talk being metta as medicine. And I want us to think of that this way, as like there's a medicine that's being applied. And sometimes the medicine doesn't taste good. So like I was talking to one of my mentors about a person that I had a rupture with years ago, a very important person in my life. And it was just a time for this particular relationship to not be part of my life anymore, and not be a part of their life anymore. It was kind of a mutual feeling. And so, and so the thoughts of this person will arise, and, it still happens. And I was so bothered by it. They would arise, and I'd get hooked into any number of different challenging, emotional states. And so in her wisdom, she said, when this happens, make this your practice, your metta, like wish them well, bless them. And I was like, I don't want to. Sometimes that just needs to be honored. But I knew I was at a place where it was, like when it's so thick with someone, and like it's like when we send metta to a difficult person, which I'll talk about in a moment, and this as the stages. We want that person to be workably difficult, not if there's a ton of trauma related, or we haven't healed, we have to have a certain level of healing before we start offering metta to a difficult person. I believe, and I've heard a lot of teachers mention this too. But it is good medicine. It's good medicine when it's accessible. So this person, I'm like, okay, I'll, and it's still my practice, because it still arises, so it's like, okay. And then wishing them well, and noticing over time as I do this, how my own heart is changing. There is a medicinal quality to it. It doesn't always taste good. So we start with our benefactor. Sometimes the self is started with the first, but a lot we'll start with the benefactor, because and then go to the self, and these two can be flipped. A benefactor is somebody who you feel loved and cared for by. That is a teacher, sometimes it's someone who's passed, sometimes it's somebody who's alive, a spiritual friend, a parent, a grandparent, but it's definitely a person with whom you feel really seen and heard and loved just as you are. That's the benefactor. And some people don't have access to an actual person that they've known who's been that for them, and so we lean into a loving presence, or we lean into an archetype, a deity, an angel, a Buddha, a Mary, a Jesus, a Krishna, a Tara, whatever it is for us, we lean into that. We send metta to the beloved. So that's someone that we have easy love for. We just think of that being, and it just lights up our hearts, right? It can be a person, it can be an animal. And then we have the neutral person. So we recollect through the practice somebody that we don't know. We don't have any negative or positive feelings. We don't experience them as pleasant or unpleasant. Somebody who we get our coffee from, somebody that we know from the gas station, somebody that's a checker at the store, at the grocery store, the mail carrier. Our mail carriers totally. I'm realizing that I have a lot of neutral around me, because we don't really know our neighbors very well yet. We haven't lived here for that long. So it's like those are neutral people. And then the last person, and then we have the difficult. It's not the difficult person, it's the person whom we experience difficult feelings with. That's an important distinction. And then the last is all beings everywhere in the four directions: north, south, east, and west. And then the last piece, first we had practicing the phrases with curiosity, not expectation. The second point is the stages. I just outlined those. And then the third point is embodiment. So we're reciting these phrases as we practice. We're reciting them dropped into the body, particularly the chest and the belly. So often when I practice Metta, I have a hand on my heart, I have one on my belly. Now we know how to sing. We know to sing the Metta phrases. We're actually going to we'll sing a little bit at the end, but we're going to work a lot with saying the phrases, reciting the phrases in the mind, and I'll guide us. So go ahead and we'll make the transition now to a comfortable posture. For Metta practice, a comfortable posture is greatly emphasized. In insight practice, alertness, like having an upright posture, and is really emphasized. In Metta, you can kind of lean back on a chair, you can lie on the floor, you can make yourself, it's just really important to be comfortable. And so, and at this point, I like to mention that these talks are freely offered, and your donations really make a difference. And I appreciate your donations very much. And you can make those via Zelle or Venmo or PayPal, and we'll have the link for that in the on the page when we send the replay for this out as well. So let's get comfortable. We'll be working with the phrases that I use in my own practice and that I use in my, in my guided meditations as well. So these may very well be familiar for you. And when you practice on your own, you're welcome to adjust the languaging to be tailored to you and your wishes. But for our practice, we'll use my phrases, and I often close my eyes for Metta. We want to just start with establishing a sense of friendliness. When I say friendly or kindness, really connecting to kindness. When you've been met with kindness yourself, someone offers you a kind word or a kind touch, or like, you go through the drive-through or something, and the person is kinder than they need to be. Sometimes you'll have that sense with people that they're just being even kinder than they really need to be. What's it like? Just kind of sensing that mood or that flavor of kindness, friendliness. So we'll just spend a few moments sort of settling into that. Coming and settling into the body, coming close to the bone. Letting this coming into the body be woven through with kindness. It's almost like a flavor that you add to a dish. It's like a flavor we add to our experience. We're not adding it as much as we are just waking it up, just remembering it. And as if for the first time, we'll put the palm down on our chest and maybe another palm on the belly. Calling to mind your benefactor. Sensing your benefactor standing behind you with their hands on your shoulders. Saying these well wishes right to you. May you be at ease. May you be at peace. May you feel safe and free from inner and outer harm. May you be truly and deeply happy. May you be healthy. May you have a feeling of well-being that isn't bound by circumstances or conditions. May you, dear one, be at ease. May you be at peace. May you feel safe and free from inner and outer harm. May you be truly and deeply happy. May you be healthy. May you have a feeling of well-being that isn't bound by circumstances or conditions. and let go. There's no need to hold on to anything. Just let whatever arises arise. Let whatever arises be met. Let it fold in. May you, dear one, be at ease and at peace. May you feel safe and free from inner and outer harm. May you be truly and deeply happy. May you be healthy. May you have a feeling of well-being that isn't bound by circumstances or conditions. Now we'll be offering ourselves metta. I'll say the phrases out loud. From this point forward, it's important that you recite the phrases as well, just to see. And you can recite the phrases out loud, or you can recite them internally, staying connected to the world beneath the neck. May I be at ease. May I be at peace. May I feel safe and free from inner and outer harm. May I be truly and deeply happy. May I be healthy. May I have a feeling of well-being that isn't bound by circumstances or conditions. We can drop the may I and just sense into the word as it's dropped in and our longing to embody peace, ease, to feel safe and free from inner and outer harm. To be happy and healthy. May, have a feeling of well-being, unbound by circumstances or conditions. And then taking a minute or two on our own with I. And just returning back to the practice. The mind will, do what it does and pull us away. We'll leave the bone, but just come back and resume. Connecting now to someone you have easy love for. Somebody who you really do, like you just really wish them well. You really want them to be happy. You really want them to be healthy. It's like you just love them so much. You just want nothing more than for them to be delighted and for them to be happy and free, like really connecting to that. Be a child, a grandchild, a dear friend, anyone, a neighbor, a nephew, a partner, an ex-partner, just like anyone that just, yes, I really want this person to just flourish in their life. Yes, yes, yes. It kind of, you just makes your heart almost like, may you be at ease. May you be at peace. May you feel safe and free from inner and outer harm. May you be truly and deeply happy. May you be healthy. May you have a feeling of well-being that isn't bound by circumstances or conditions. May you be at ease. May you be at peace. May you feel safe and free from inner and outer harm. May you be truly and deeply happy. May you be healthy. May you have a feeling of well-being that isn't bound by circumstances or conditions. May you be at ease and may you be at peace. May you feel safe and free from inner and outer harm. May you be truly and deeply happy. May you be healthy. May you have a feeling of well-being that isn't bound by circumstances or conditions. And then just taking a few moments on your own. And now we'll move to a neutral. It's really good to pick one person. I can't emphasize this enough. What can happen when we do this practice for somebody that we don't have pleasant or unpleasant feelings towards. To really find someone and hold them in your mind's eye. Hold them in your heart. You might have to work a little more for this. It's good exercise for the heart. May you be at ease. May you be at peace. May you feel safe and free from inner and outer harm. May you be truly and deeply happy. May you be healthy. May you have a feeling of well-being that isn't bound by circumstances or conditions. May you be happy. May you be at ease. May you be at peace. May you be truly and deeply happy. May you be healthy. May you have a feeling of well-being that isn't bound by circumstances or conditions. And then just taking a few moments on your own with this neutral person. Whatever comes up, let it fold into the practice. Let it fold in, but keep doing it. And now we'll move to a person who we have difficult feelings with. Not something extreme like I was mentioning, but it's just, there's just a, like a, right? They said something to you and it just kind of, That's the one. Okay, it gets a little harder. Maybe. That's okay. We do the practice anyway. Without expectation, we open to curiosity. We apply the medicine of the practice. May you be at ease. May you be at peace. May you feel safe and free from inner and outer harm. May you be truly and deeply happy. May you be healthy. May you have a feeling of well-being that isn't bound by circumstances or conditions. May you be at ease. May you be at peace. May you be truly and deeply happy. May you be healthy. May you have a feeling of well-being that isn't bound by circumstances or conditions. Recognizing that all beings in all dimensions across infinite time and space, but particularly in this one, that all beings on earth, to the north, to the south, to the east, and to the west, long for this, long to be happy and free, long to have peace. This is their birthright too. And recognizing that we share this longing and knowing our interconnection, we recognize the importance of this for all beings everywhere. And we wish from the bottom of our hearts for all beings, may we all be at ease. May we all be at peace. May we all feel safe and free from inner and outer harm. May we all be truly and deeply happy. May we all be healthy. May we all have a feeling of well-being that isn't bound by circumstances or conditions. As we open our eyes, sensing the invitation to be in the body now and for the rest of the day as best as we can. Thank you for sitting with me and practicing this practice of metta as medicine. It is medicine. You know, it's not necessarily easy practice. And you're worth the work. There is like a certain amount of, the heart is remembering itself in this practice. It's being grown and stretched and woken up in a way that for a lot of us, there's been lots of sleepiness in this regard. So like sleepiness meaning like, it's like, oh my gosh, you know, this being sweet isn't so easy, right? It is actually a practice, and it's one that we will benefit immensely from. And so have compassion with yourself, having compassion with ourselves as we awaken the heart of friendliness is really important. And thanks for practicing with me. I'd love to hear from you in the chat. Anything in particular that's like a takeaway for you. And once again, thank you for your donations. Come back next week, and please email me. Let me know if there's like a topic that you want me to touch upon here. But we'll be resuming our sit next week, Tuesday at 9 a.m. PT. And let's do it. Any takeaways? Would love to hear. Oh, good. Yeah. Feeling tender. Oh, this was earlier from Devaya. Oh, good. Yeah. Finished a bodywork session. That's right. So glad you're doing that work, Devaya. I feel softer inside and a connection with my benefactor. Oh, isn't that interesting, Anna? Interesting, isn't it? Metta as medicine. Sometimes I just want to say it's magic too. I mean, there's been, but we have to, it's the practice. There's something about the practice that wakes things up inside that we're longing to be woken up. So it's not about it's not about things being easy, right? Remember from the very beginning of the talk, it's about connection, intimacy, thinking about that house plant, right? And the folks there. Well, thank you so much. So good to sit with you. Hope to see you next week. You can take
Katrina, it's awesome. It's awesome practice, Metta, but it's not. It's right. It's not easy, but it surely grounds you on many levels. I wear it, and when I'm not wearing it, I know, because everything goes haywire.
Right? Yeah, totally. Yeah, and it's so interesting that you mentioned that too, Candace, because something that's often mentioned in the teachings is that this practice, what it does do is balance, right? You said round, and it was like rounding things out and balancing the heart. And when it's not balanced, absolutely things are
Totally.
things are off. Yeah.
Especially
I love what you said too about wearing metta. That's what you said, right? I love that. Yeah, wearing. I'm gonna wear metta today.
Yeah.
Let's all wear metta today.
Especially in my situation, because I always have people caring for me. And to tell you the truth, I don't always enjoy it. like, because I always have to put my needs second a lot. And I'm like, I don't want to, but they're like, it has to be this way. So I'm like always up against how to do metta.
Oh my gosh, right, because you're just like you're
Yeah,
continually being interrupted.
yeah,
Like you're just you're like what I'm feeling as I'm hearing you is just like a continual letting go. I imagine you must get
yeah.
frustrated. Yeah.
Like the thing is, like today, um, my um support just changed recently, and so I have all new workers, and the worker, they wanted to send the worker between 10 and 11, and I'm like, no. They have her come at 11, but I can't do that because they've taken ownership of how to run stuff. So I'm like, okay, how can I embrace this, right? So
Oh yeah, for
it's
like 100%.
so
You know
silly.
what? You know we're gonna close, Candace, because we're at time. But you know, it's just like it'd be so wonderful if you could, like I'm like you should be. It'd be great for you to. These are teachings other folks in your community need, right? And like
Totally. Yeah.
so. Anyway, yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I uh, unmuted, because it's the matter that keeps me in, keeps me saying like grounded, and coming coming here every week
Yeah.
is awesome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. I don't do if you guys don't show up, this doesn't happen.
Yeah,
So, thanks for coming and bring your friend,
yeah,
mention it, share this with other folks, and I'll see you next week, Tuesday.
okay.
All right. Be well, everyone. Bye. Blessings, Anna, Devaya, Candace. Love you.
Yeah.